How's it going, everybody? Yeah, it's that time again. I'm just playing with new stuff. Yeah, I had never used a music intro before, and so I thought I'd give it a shot. You got to excuse me, I got a cold this last week, and I'm a little coffee and stuffy and all of that happy horse stuff. So I think this is working. According to all of my stuff, my OBS is going green, yellow, orange, red, green, yellow, orange, red, and I think that's what it's supposed to do. Other than that, I think we are there. I don't know if anybody's even in here. Oh, yeah, I got, concurrent viewers 4. I don't know if any of them are here now or not, but that's the way it's going to be, I guess. So, in case you didn't know, I'm Alexis. I am 1/3 of the Impractical Blacksmiths, and the air ukulele. I could have, but hold on. Anyways, yeah. So I'm Alexis, 1/3 of the Impractical Blacksmiths, and I'm here to just talk about whatever the fuck I want. And today that could be, I don't know. I got a few things on my list, and we'll see where it goes. But yeah. So Robert Whitney just checking in. Kevin Trail Dust 55. I see you're there. Phil Works. I see you got a thumbs up going on there. Yeah. So, man, it has been a hell of a week. So, like I know we go over this on the Sunday show, but whatever. what else do I have to talk about, right? Water with ice and a lime. And I swear that's all that is. But yeah, I got back here on Tuesday, and well, Monday night. I was supposed to go to work Tuesday. The job canceled on Tuesday, and yeah, and then it was like balls to the wall, unfreaking fettered, 24 hours a day work up until like this morning. Not exactly. I was off for 6 hours twice between last Tuesday and this morning, and that's it. Uh, I mean, yeah, it was rough. I'm telling you. I mean, like 84 hours in 4 days or something like that, and then the last. I mean, today is Tuesday. I didn't work today, and I'm already on overtime. So, yeah. Okay, so Kevin, yes, I'm off script already. Okay, I don't have a script. I am just riffing here. I got a couple things that I'm going to get into, but and I'm going to riff on those because I don't really know where I'm going to go with it. Other than so, most of you guys know who I am. It's entirely possible that there's a person or two that aren't familiar with me because you don't watch the Sunday morning shows. So that was the introduction just a few minutes ago, and I am obviously trans and a blacksmith, and what does my profile say? Transgender, former A-10 crew chief, current oil-filled badass, parent, grandparent, occasionally a blacksmith, sometimes a podcaster. So that's who I am, in no particular order. I've done lots of cool things. I do, to be totally honest, the way I look at it, I do cool things every day. I love my job. All right, Phil, you're new. Okay, that's cool. I wasn't sure if you'd been, around this channel or not before. I hadn't seen your name before, but I don't know. I don't know everybody that's on here, and so, I work in the oil field. I'm a bed truck driver, move drilling rigs, and I love it. To me, it is fun. Okay, so this is what I do every day. And don't get me wrong, I'm not real fond of hey, what's going on, small scout stuff. I'm so a long time. You see, I'm gonna wind up getting off track, and you know what? It doesn't matter. This is my show. I can get off track if I want to. So when I was younger, somebody told me. I believe it was in my very first job. My very first job, I worked in the kitchen at Angelo State University in the dining hall. I was a dishwasher or whatever, and I mean, minimum wage. I think at the time it was like $4.25 or something like that. And hey, I'm 16 years old, 17 years old, and my first paycheck was like $116, and I was like, ooh, money, 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 money. And unfortunately, as soon as I got my first paycheck, my parents were like, okay, so the clothes you need for school, you got to buy them. Car insurance, on you. Gas money, on you. And I was like, aw, damn. Here I thought I was going to have all this beer money, money to party with on the weekends. Not so much. But my boss at that very first job, he, for some reason, I don't even know where this came from. He's like, the only thing you need to know is if you don't love your job, you're doing the wrong job. He said, if you love your job, you'll never work a day in your life. And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah. And I hate my fucking job. Then he turned around and walked away. And I was like, all right. Granted, being a dishwasher, there's no, I don't think there's much way to love that. But I spent a lot of years trying to find the job that I loved. I went to the Air Force. I got out, became a certified FAA certified aircraft mechanic. And no, let me finish. And yes, I'm telling myself, let me finish. And then I was a plumber, and then a heavy equipment mechanic, and auto mechanic, and then I wound up in the oil field. And immediately, so I get obviously you get your first paycheck when you go into the oil field, and you go, holy shit, are you fucking kidding me? And I mean, yeah, I mean, because I think I want to say I started out at $9 an hour, and my first paycheck was like $2,400, and I was like, I've never made that much in a month. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna buy all kinds of stuff, and then the age old thing. Um, I was making an age old thing. You make more money, you spend more money, and that has been the bane of my existence for the last 20 years in the oil field. But what I did discover is I found a career that I love, and that's just, I don't know. I lucked into it just by chance. I go to work every day excited to go to work because I might encounter something new. I might do something new. Just yesterday, I'm digging holes like 2 feet deep or trenches with my rear tires. Got a mud pit hanging off the back. It's dragging the ground so I don't turn over. Got a pole truck tied onto the front of me, sucking me sideways. Front wheels off the ground, and I'm just digging. And I mean, it was good fun. It's been a long time since I've been that hung up in a mud hole. But here nor there, that's kind of my background. I love what I do. I work in the oil field, and that might seem this is going to get to that might seem conducive to who I not conducive to who I am, but I'll get to that. So earlier today, I put out I never know when I'm going to get to do the show because I don't know what my work schedule is going to be. So I put out a thing on my socials like, hey, I'm going to do a show tonight because I'm not working. If you've got any questions, ask it, and I'll see what I can do. I did get actually one question, and I will get to that later. So I'm like, woo! And it kind of went in an area I wasn't expected. So that prompted, my list of things to talk about on Alexis Unleashed. Kind of, it was like, okay, I could talk about this, I could talk about this, I could talk about this. And it's just like, really, this is where I'm going to start, and then wherever the hell it's going to go, it's going to go. And so today I wanted, okay, let me get to the comments here. So Phil, you're new. I'm just going to call you Phil. Phil works there. You're new, and thanks for being here, man, or woman, or whatever. I don't know, but thanks for being here. I don't know. I'm just going to riff on, and we'll see what happens. Small Scout stuff. Thank you for showing up from Australia. It's morning time for you over there. Kevin, Trail Dust 55, of course. What's that? Trail Duds Double Nickel. Thomas is not in the shop tonight, he says. And then he says, I'm in my shop tonight working on some projects. Okay. I'm not sure if you're not in the shop, or I'm obviously not in the shop. I'm in my room, but yeah, Robert Lonis, Treadle Shed, what's going on, man? Glad you could make it. So, me being who I am, I am, what is up? What is up is, I just started the show, and this is half empty, so, yeah, well, I don't know. I'm almost out of water with, sparkling water with a lime in it, and yeah, that's not what it is. In any case, so a lot of the things that I pay attention to on a day-to-day basis are fairly transgender related because of the what's going on with everybody making it illegal to exist for me, and so oh, that was thunder. I was like, what's going on? Yeah, we're in the middle of a storm. Well, anyways, so I pay attention to a lot of that stuff, see where it's going. That way I can kind of adjust accordingly my life, because in my community, I am considered a person of privilege because I have the money to what's going on here? I have the money to move if I need to. Because I'm a transient worker. I can live anywhere in the world and work here. Um, so in that instance, I've got kind of a bit of a cushion. It's like if they take away my health care here in Texas, then I can just go to Colorado or New Mexico, whatever. I mean, it is kind of a big deal because I mean, fuck me, that's an 8-hour drive for a doctor's appointment. But I'm gonna do what I got to do. A big thing that happened this last week in kind of my circle was the Zoe Zephyr thing. I don't know if you've heard of her or not, but she's a representative, a state representative in Montana, a trans woman, and they were working on I guess in the House or whatever, they were working on a bill for banning health care, and she stood up and said her piece, just like they do for every single piece of these pieces of legislation that the Republicans don't care about, and they ignore the facts and the science, and they just go on and pass the bills because they've been instructed to do so by the party, regardless of your personal feelings, regardless if you have a family that is affected by this, including your children. It doesn't matter. You're going to toe the party line. You're going to pass this legislation, or you're out. And that's really the way it is. They don't really have a choice, and they can't publicly say, "Oh, well, I'm against it, but I got to vote for it anyways." And that doesn't work, because that's the same thing as not voting for it, and then you lose your job, you get primaried, whatever. Well, anyway, Zoe stood up and said, look, this is wrong, and people are going to die, and I hope every time you bow your head to pray, you see the blood of those people on your hands. And then they censured her, they kicked her out of the House of Representatives, and would not let her back in for the remainder of the session. And yeah, and then they just, I mean, now she's suing them because of a violation of First Amendment, which I think she got a pretty solid case there. So that was pretty cool. I mean, that was a big part of my week, going, "Oh no, look what happened now! Oh, look what happened now!" But I don't really bring that stuff up on the Sunday show, because it might be off-putting to some people, whatever. But I mean, fuck, that's who I am, and if you got a problem with that, why are you here? But I think we all kind of get along, whatever. Thomas, I wanted to mention, oh man, I was going to bring it in. Dang it. I got your bottle opener out there in my pickup, and I'm going to get that out probably end of this week, maybe early next week. It depends on my work schedule. I was going to bring it in here and show it to you, but yeah, it's too late now. Anyways, what have you guys been up to? Anything good? Anything bad even? I mean, spritzer, sparkling water. I don't know. Phil, this is I mean, okay, in all transparency, this is vodka, sparkling water, and lime with ice. So, do you even blacksmith, bro? I said with love. On occasion, just on occasion. I've got really soft hands, and and I love that. And if I go hard, I wind up with calluses or blisters. I mean, and I don't mind the blisters, but the calluses are kind of irritating. So I gotta be careful, and take my hammering sessions. Well, I'm just gonna let that one go. Very far and few, but not very far and few between. But I try to limit myself to once a week out in the shop, and when I go, I mean, it's like I don't know, anywhere from 4 to 6 hours is what I spend getting stuff done. And if I go, I don't know, yeah, that's about my regular, because I'll forge until I start noticing that my hammer control is getting out of whack, and that's when I go, oh yeah, I'm done. I can't hit what I'm wanting to hit, so I'm gonna. Yeah, so that's yeah. I forge on occasion. That's why my profile says occasionally a blacksmith. Not all the time. Anyways, I can't wait to watch this back and see if that thing did. I can just ask you guys, the song I played at the beginning, did that come through? If it did, that was "Devil to Pay," our very own Rob Huff, his band, and a song called "Your Inner Lemmy." Oh, where was that question? So the one question I got today that I thought I would address was how is it working in the oil field now? Being you, it seems that may not be the safest career choice. Please keep my name and not okay. Um, so yeah, I mean, a lot of people were like, "Wait, you're trans and in the oil field? That doesn't really seem like real or even safe." And honestly, I mean, for me, um, I thought so. So when I started transitioning 3 years ago, and at 2 year or 1 year social, kind of on the side in secret, and then a year of medical transition, and then I started after a year. I came out at work and I walked into the office. I was like, "Look, this is what's going on. This is who I am. If you got to run me off, do it. I'm not gonna. I just can't pretend. And they're like, nah, no worries. You're here because you're one of the best in the world at what you do, and that's it." Yee, boy, I'm glad I got a mute button, man, because these coughs are so hard. Um, anyways, yeah, no, everybody. I mean, the boss is cool at work, and he told me, he's like, "Look, he's like, I don't got a problem with it as long as what you got going on in your personal life doesn't affect how you do your job. I don't give a fuck." He's like, "And if anybody else got a problem with it, they can kick rocks and go work somewhere else." And I was like, "Huh, well, that's pretty cool." And then, I like January 1st this year was when my name officially changed at work. And I mean, just on the paperwork, it all flipped. And everybody was like, I mean, like the next day, everybody's like, "Hey, Alex, yeah, come over here and get this. Hey, Alex, come over here and get that. Hey, Alex, yeah, yeah, come over here." I mean, like, everybody was cool, man. And I did not expect that. I really thought I was going to get a lot of pushback out here in the oil field. I mean, because it is like, it's a lot like the camaraderie, the atmosphere. It's a lot like the military, and you really have to have been in the military to understand that. And I really can't describe it otherwise. Um, and so, but no, everybody's been cool. I've only had like one or two people that were a little bit off-putting, but not to me. Um, it's like they're nice to me. On the front side, but then other people tell me the shit they talk on the backside, and it's like, all right, that kind of gets me in the feels when people are being disingenuine. But by the same account, it's not. I don't think as bad as if they were just talking that shit right to my face, because that would kind of hurt my feelers. But uh, by and large, though, I mean, like, even the roughnecks that I encounter on location, people that have never met me before, they're like, "Oh, well, that's pretty cool. Right on." And so no, I originally, to the person that asked this question, I originally anticipated a lot of pushback and possibly a hostile environment, and that's not what I got. I got acceptance, and you know everybody's just like cool with it, because I mean, like, when I started this process, everybody was cool with it everywhere. I mean, like, it was just a thing. And then about a year in is when all the political I mean, basically, it's a genocide started. In what is it? In Florida, as of July 1st, you can be sentenced to death for being transgender. Now, it's a circuitous route to get there, but it can be done. And I'll go ahead and explain that circuitous route, starting from the death penalty side. They changed it from from 12 people to 8 people to sentence someone to death. Only 8 jurors are needed to do that instead of unanimous. Um, and then they included sexual assault to be included under the death penalty. So it's not just murder. If you're convicted of sexual assault, you've been given the death penalty. And then they changed, if a person under the age of 18, if you're transgender and a person under the age of 18 sees you, that can be considered sexual assault. So if you were just a trans person and you went to Walmart and some kid, or whatever, it could be a 17-year-old high school kid, saw you, their mom could call the cops on you, have you arrested, charged with sexual assault of a child, sentenced to death, just for going to Walmart. And so it's a circuitous route. It's unlikely to happen, but it could happen. And it's just like, damn, you know. But the people aren't, by and large, the people that I encounter on a day-to-day basis aren't like that. It's just the lawmakers. And honestly, when I was in the Capitol talking to lawmakers, most of them were cool. I mean, there were a few that were straight up like, nah, we don't want you people to be able to change anything. We don't want you to have access to anything. We don't want you to change it. And I'm like, him. All right, what about this veterans bill? Can I get your vote on this veterans bill? No, because you're asking for it. And it's like, fuck. I mean, some people just got a lot of hate in their heart, and I don't understand that. I don't. Hey, Wayne, what's going on? I don't understand how people can just hate like that, under the guise of like being a Christian and protecting children, and it's like, and they want to. I don't know. I don't understand it, because like I love everybody. I don't care who you are, what you are, until you have done me wrong personally. I love you, and I wish nothing but happiness for everybody I encounter. Every one of you here in the chat. I mean, like I wish you nothing but that happiness in your life, and and that's another weird thing. I mean, like I thought I knew what happiness was, and then this started, and then I was like, wow, this is a whole new level of ear to ear smile on a day to day basis. So, no, not a dangerous spot to be in the oil field. It's actually, I mean, my peers are quite supportive of me, and yeah. That's where that goes. So I got let's segue into the next topic, so to speak. So this guy Rob Garman. I mean, most of you don't know him, but well, most of you do actually. It's Granddad's Forge. He works in a foundry, and he's getting me these tellurium strips, and I don't know what they use them for. He told me, but I forgot. But they're just about that long. It's just a wire. Maybe it looks like it, the inside piece of a Bic pen that's got the ink in it. It looks like it's maybe that big, maybe a little bit smaller, and it's about that long. And it's tellurium, and they use it to test something, and I don't know what it is. But they have to be careful how they dispose of it, because it can't just like one of those wires in a 10-ton batch of iron makes the whole batch of iron no good. It's got to be disposed of. And so he's collecting these wires for me to do experiments on. And I'm familiar with tellurium because it's alloyed with precious metals, and it's called tellurides. That's what Telluride, Colorado is named for. And that's the area where I used to mine, and what I used to mine. I used to mine tellurides. My mines, that I worked in, and whatever, the majority of the gold or silver or whatever was going to be mixed with tellurium, and so it would be calaverite, sylvanite, etc., etc. Calaverite and sylvanite are gold tellurides. Calaverite is 60% gold, and sylvanite is 40% gold. But anyways, way off the subject. I think I've discussed all this before, but he's getting me these tellurium strips, and I'm gonna mix them in with molten metal and see what happens. Just because I don't know, and I'm really glad that I looked. I did a little bit of research on it and realized that you shouldn't touch the tellurium, because if you touch it for just a few seconds, it'll absorb into your skin, and then you'll smell like garlic breath and really bad garlic body odor for like 2 weeks after just touching it for a couple seconds. So. I'm glad I actually did a little bit of research before I got them, and then was like holding them in my hand and being walking around going like, "Fuck! What is that smell?" Nobody wants to be in that boat. And nobody else wants to be around somebody that's in that boat. I can tell you that for sure. But no, I'm gonna mix some up with I'm gonna drop some into some aluminum. I'm gonna drop some into some copper, and I'm gonna see if I can make like the crystalline tellurides. Because the tellurides look kind of like pyrite, only they're not because they're a crystalline structure. So it's kind of like a pyrite, but it's not like that cubic thing. And so I'm gonna see when Rob sends me those. I'm gonna see what I can do with them because I think that'll be fun to play with and see if I can make my own tellurides. And I know no matter how hard I try, I'm going to wind up touching it. And I'm going to wind up stinking for 2 weeks. And there's just no way around it. Damn it. Maybe I'll get some gloves on and I'll grab one of the wires and I'll just walk up to one of my friends and just rub the wire on him, and be like, what's up? Nothing. That's almost, you know what? Honestly, that's a better rib than squirting liquid ass on somebody. Okay, so Robert Lunas, I wish I could download what's in your head into mine. You know some stuff. I know a little bit about a lot of stuff because things just kind of, I don't know, things fascinate me, and I like to learn. Um, it's really weird, but like Trelda says, I mean, like, yeah, download my information and you can fill your head with isotopes. Thomas asks, "Hey Sully, question: when it comes to twists, what are your favorite twists?" So they're honestly like my favorite to look at is the basket twist. I really dig the basket twist, and I've done a few of them. I mean, and they're fun. I mean, like I really like them, especially like the doubles and whatnot. But my favorite one to do would be the Rubik's twist, and that's actually what you're going to be getting is a Rubik's twist. So um, that is easy to do, but it's easy to fuck it up too. Because the very first time I tried to do your bottle opener, I'm sitting there, I got the whole thing forged out, I got it right where it needs to be. I go to, I got the lines cut, the vertical lines cut in, and I go to cut the horizontal lines in it, and then I got all the way to the very last one, and I realized I cut the lines in all of the sides. Instead of doing it on opposite corners, I did one corner, and I did the one next to it, and I did the third one, and then I was just about to start on the fourth one when I realized, wait a minute, I already fucked this up. And then so in an effort to try to salvage that, I then went ahead and twisted it, and then I hammered it all back flat, like kind of like you would an alligator twist. And because it was symmetrical, it really looked like hammered dog shit. So I threw it on the ground under the forge. It's still there, hanging out. I got yours done, and it is a little bit. It's not quite the way I wanted it. It's a little bit unique in that regard. But if I were going for perfection and exactly the way I wanted it, it's going to take me 6 months and 20 bottle openers before I go, that one. That one is perfect. So, it is what it is. And, you know how it is when we're all out there making something and you see your own mistakes and they just stand. And I don't know why that is. When I look at something I made, I can't see the piece. I see the mistakes. I see right there, right there, and I show it to somebody else, and they're like, dude, that's really cool. And then I feel like they're just saying that to be nice. You know what I mean? Because because all I see are the mistakes, and I'm like, yeah, nice, thank you. I mean, and I'm like, and I feel like they're lying to me, and I can't, deep down, I know they probably don't see the mistakes, or they don't realize their mistakes, or it's not the same way that I look at it, and so, it is the bane of being a blacksmith is it's never good enough. If you want to expound on that subject, we have a podcast episode called Excessive Perfection. Wait, it's not a podcast episode. That's a live stream. I never did. That was before the podcast. Dang it, man. Oh, man. Oh. So, boy, that didn't take long enough. Sure. I wonder how far behind I am. Let me find out. Oh yeah, transient workers. That was what I was going to cover. All right, that'll be cool. Hit play. Oh, it's going to give me an ad. Of course it is. All right, and so Robert says he does the same thing, but then when I see it the next day, I'm like, it looks great, man. You know, I do that to an extent, but um, I don't know. I think I'm just overly critical. He does the same thing. Oh, look at there, no lag. All right. I mean, other than the like normal 15 seconds or whatever, So that's awesome. So now I know that my lag problem from the last time was my internet connection. And my daughter complained because like I went live for the last episode of Alexis Unleashed, and it locked. I'm in the garage. Hey, what's going on there, Matthew? Glad you could make it for a minute, or however long. But yeah, the last episode, my daughter she came out right towards the end of the stream, and she's like, "Are you done yet?" And finally, I was like, "Yeah, why?" She's like, "You used all of the internet." She's like, "Austin couldn't play Minecraft. We were streaming something and it just stopped, and we weren't able to connect to Netflix. It's like we couldn't do anything for the last 2 hours." And I was like, "Huh. Well, I did set my shit to top priority, so there's that." And but even still, I guess my internet at home is not quite as good. This is Starlink here, and I've got the standard latency, and that's awesome. I'm really glad that's working out. So now I know it's not my settings. So I was really sweating that because I'm not really good with OBS and stuff. And oh man, I can't believe I still got that on there. Hold the fuck on, Jesus. Oh, boom, transition. There we go. That was supposed to come off in like the first 10 seconds. All right, well, so be it. All right, do I got all the right stuff selected? I do. All right. So the next little thing I had was transient workers. So this is kind of a thing for me that is because I am a transient worker, and I don't understand how nobody, like the majority of people, don't consider that like a viable option. I don't know, because like I talk to friends, I got friends, you guys, all over the country and all over the world for that matter. But speaking specifically to people here in the United States, the economies in different areas are different. I mean, like the economy here in Midland, Texas, where we've got negative 3% unemployment, the highest per capita income in the nation, the highest growth rate in the nation, and there's one other thing where the highest I don't remember what it is, lowest unemployment, highest per capita income, and anyways, but here, like McDonald's provides housing. So, you can go to work at McDonald's for like $16 an hour, and they give you a place to stay. and that is crazy to me when you drive by a McDonald's and it says hiring now, housing provided, and it's like, but everybody here does that because Midland's probably 400,000, 300,000 people, and then there's another 300,000 people that work here that don't live here, that aren't counted in the census for this area, and we all live at work. I mean, like my work, there are 5 shacks here, and 5 people live in each one, so there are 25 people that live at my job, and I mean, there's 12 other businesses down this road, and probably 6 of them have camp trailers in their yards, for workers to stay in. And then there's a bajillion what do you call them, mobile home slots, trailer parks, or not trailer parks. Gosh, what do you call that thing where you park your travel trailer, your mobile home? One of those things. We got a whole lot of those, and so people come here from somewhere else and they work here, and then everybody's got their own different schedule or whatever, and so you come here and you work for, wish you could stay, but shutting down the forge and got to clean up tools, shower, eat, and get ready for work. Be well. I will be well, Matthew. You too. Have a cold beer for me. I'm not supposed to drink beer, but I'm gonna have one here in a little bit anyways. Damn doctors anyhow. But campground. No, it's not a campground, John. That's not what they call it. And hey, welcome to the show. Campground. No. Man, RV park. That's it. RV park. Because it's just a place where they got electrical hookups and sewer hookups. Usually down 2 lines, and it's just travel trailers or whatever down there. Typically travel trailers. Not very many are motorhomes. And people just drive in, hook up, and drive home when they get fired, I guess. But that's what I did when I first came here. I moved down from Wyoming, and I slept in the back seat of my pickup for 3 months at the truck stop until I could afford to get a travel trailer and put it in a slot. And now the company I worked for, they did provide housing, but at the time it was the guy was like, well, I'll give you $20 an hour if we provide housing, $22 an hour if you provide your own housing. And I was like, I'll provide my own housing. In hindsight, that was stupid. I should have taken the housing. Because even 3 months of sleeping in my pickup, and then I got my travel trailer and put it in a slot and all that. I mean, then my slot was $400 a month. So at the end of the day, for the year that I worked there, I was out money by taking the $2 an hour higher pay. And then I came over here because they provided housing and like 50% more on the money side. So yeah. But around here, I would say we have 100 employees, give or take, that work here. Maybe 5 to 10 of them are local. Everybody else is transient, including like the owners of the company are from Edmonton, Alberta. The general manager, he lives like 3 hours away, and he drives home and here every day. Like drives in 3 hours, stays all day, drives home 3 hours. And then and like almost all of the office personnel are transient, or like even we got people that are from as far away as Edmonton, and they're here for a month, and then they go home for 2 weeks, and they come back for a month, and then they go home for 2 weeks. I mean, that's crazy that to me that you work like 6,000-7,000 miles away from where you live. But I mean, the time may come when I got to do the same damn thing. So for the time being, I can totally see in the next year or year and a half ish, I may have to move to Colorado or New Mexico or whatever on paper to maintain my existence. But if things don't go in my direction in a couple of years, I'll probably have to leave the country. So that'll be fun. But I've got a plan for that, and ready to rock and roll. Got me a new passport on the way. John Burnell, you have 2 touch marks. You are special. Oh, and by the way, John, happy 50th birthday, buddy. That's badass. And I swear to God, like I mentioned in your Facebook, I swear I thought you were like 10 years younger than me. So you're doing something right, or I'm doing something wrong. Take it how you feel, how you like. Oh. All right, we're gonna try something new. Or I am, anyways. No, I'm not gonna do that. What am I thinking? So today I found at Walmart the what do you call it? Athletic Brewing, a non-alcoholic. It's kind of like the equivalent of like a Blue Moon. And I was like, oh, I've been looking for that forever, because it's always sold out when I go to their website. And they also had the Guinness non-alcoholic, and I was like, I've been wanting to try that too, because I like beer because of the taste, not necessarily the alcohol. But yeah, my doctor's like, you can't drink beer with hops in it anymore. You need to get off the carbs. So I'm supposed to be on a low carb diet, cut out the beer, and reduce my protein intake. I'm like, wait, no carbs, no protein. What the fuck am I supposed to eat? Water? I mean, what kind of, isn't that like food is made of either carbs or protein, right? I don't know. So I'm trying to work on it. So I'm trying to reduce my beer intake, and protein. I don't know. I don't know what to do with that, because it's like, he asked me, he's like, do you eat a lot of red meat? And I was like, no. Like, I eat red meat like maybe once or twice a week. Yeah, once or twice. Once every 1 or 2 weeks. That's what I meant to say. Yeah, no, I do eat. I eat salad for lunch every day. Lettuce, tomato, cucumber, dill, feta cheese, vinegar and oil, salt and pepper. That's my lunch. But yeah. Hold on. I can't. I can't sit there anymore. But typically, like protein wise, my protein is like vegetable proteins like beans or something like that. Um, I try to limit my fish to once a week. So like I'll eat a can of tuna that it's lemon and dill in olive oil can of tuna. Amazing. I can just eat it right out of the can, the whole thing, olive oil and all of it. Oh. So I eat tuna once a week, and then most everything else I eat is chicken. The protein protein thing is because my triglycerides are too high. And yeah, Phil, wrap bacon in bacon. I feel you there. Oh man, I'm having a hard time with. Yeah, that's all right, I guess. I should have gone with whiskey in that instead of moonshine, but um, unleashed so I can run off the camera. No, it's so I can take off my collar and my leash. uh, so yeah, that's the one. I don't remember what the thing was in my blood work. 'Cause I got to do. I have typically been doing blood work every 90 days for the last 3 fucking years, and my once a year I do the whole like the whole CBC, like because I got 2 doctors, and one of them I see every 90 days, and one of them I see once a year, and the once a year guy, he runs a whole panel, whatever, and then the one that I see every 90 days basically just runs my hormone levels and all that to make sure I'm not make sure I'm level or evened out. And so I had to get a new general practitioner this year because my guy that I've had for the last 3 years, I don't know, he disappeared. I don't know if he quit or if he relocated. I don't know, but he no longer worked at the hospital I go to, so I had to find a new one. And this guy went through my stuff, and he's like, "Okay, what do you need? Do you need your prescriptions updated?" Da, 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 da. And he gave me a year's prescriptions on all my hormones and all that stuff. And I was like, "Oh, well, that saves me from having to go to the specialist. I don't need that guy." And then the new guy did all my blood, ran all this blood work, and like did all this blood work that I've never had before even, and including a urine test for epithelial cells, which I failed miserably because I didn't know what the UA was for, and so I did everything you're not supposed to do that could contaminate the sample. Yeah, so anyways, I see sidetracked. The point was my triglycerides were high, which is the bad cholesterol from the protein / red meat, whatever. And then the other one, I don't know what the other one is, but it was from carbs. The other thing that in my blood work that was high was from too much carbs. And he's like, "Do you eat a lot of pasta and bread?" And I was like, "No, not really. I mean, like, I eat I eat a salad for lunch every day, and then okay, there is that. So like maybe 3 times a week I have a big ass Reuben, on thick ass rye bread that's like 1 inch thick. It's like Texas toast rye bread, and then I put I make my own corned beef and all that, and so I got like 2 half-inch thick slices of corned beef on there, big old pile of sauerkraut. I mean, this sandwich is every bit of like 4 inches tall by the time I get it made. So I mean, like I eat one of those like 3 times a week because I make a mean fucking Reuben sandwich, and but that's really it. And then I, the only other, well, okay, no, I can't, I take that back because I eat a lot of fucking carbs because I mean, like I eat tortillas, the bread, I eat crackers, I eat rice cakes, and then, if I'm not working, I drink the shit out of some Miller Lite. I mean, I can mow through half of a 30-pack in a day and never get drunk because, a day for me is 15, 16 hours, and, when I'm not working, and, a beer an hour, you can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning. So I wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning, make a cup of coffee. As soon as that first cup of coffee's done, so yeah. So now over the course of the next like month, I'm slowly going to mow through the food that I have that I'm really not supposed to eat. I mean, as much as I can, because I mean, like there's some of it that is special, that is gonna, it's like once in a while stuff like the elk and the deer and stuff like that I got from my dad. It's like I'm not just gonna mow through that so I can get rid of it. I'll save that and I'll eat it when it's appropriate. And then at home I've got the 4 hogs that I got in the freezer. There's 75 pounds of hog in there. 2 of them are whole, and then the rest are all of that is going to be brined and turned into basically ham. So, and I'm not going to throw that away. So, I will just have to parse it out and eat it, I guess, a little more sparsely than every day. So yeah, and honestly, John, I mean, yeah. my doctor probably knows you're a cardiologist. That's got to be it because I'm like, fuck. Everything else, I'm healthy as a horse, and all of the other things that were high in my blood work, because I do my blood work, and then 4 hours later, ding, 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 it all shows up, and I go into my phone, look at my lab results, and I go through it all, and half of that shit I don't know what it is, so I'm like, okay, bilirubin, Google, bilirubin high causes, okay. All right, well that makes sense. And if at first, hey Jack, what's going on? If at first, okay, so if you look up like something that's wrong with you on the internet, it's going to say you've got cancer, right? So if you can just immediately just push that aside and go, okay, it's not cancer, then you can deductively reason out what's going on. So I found out, the things that like my red blood cells are enlarged, and And that was kind of concerning. It's like, oh, we don't, that's what happens when you're anemic, but you're not anemic. And I'm like, yeah, but enlarged red blood cells can also happen when you take medications that contain or mimic high levels of estrogen. And I'm like, yeah, my estrogen is like 6 fucking hundred. I mean, that's why my red blood cells are enlarged. Yeah, I've got a testosterone level of 7 and 600 on the E. So that's why my blood, and the doctor's like, oh, yep, that makes sense. And then just moves on to the next thing. Triglycerides. You eat a lot of red meat? I'm like, no. Well, eat less. And I'm like, fuck. Now question for the hive mind here. Is pork considered red meat? I mean, and that's a serious question that I don't know the answer to, because I mean, like, it cooks up like chicken, like white meat. But I got a feeling it's red meat. Been visiting with the septic tank pumper dudes as they do an emergency service. Uh-oh, that is never fun. That is never fun. I mean, like, I have never personally mesoprol. Rob, I think that's what I take a mesoprol for. That isn't that for heartburn? uh, Phil, not in my world. So not the other white meat was pure marketing. I know, right? But I mean, I've always kind of maybe. Well, see, there it is. I don't know, because I mean, like, health wise, I think that kind of goes along with. I think you got to call that red meat, but I mean, it does cook up white, so I mean, there is that. Pork, the other white meat. Ben Strickland, what's going on? Hey, thanks for popping in, man. Long time no see. How you been doing? Yeah. See, and like, for me, it's really tough because, like, I'll go to Sam's Club and there'll be a pork loin there that is like 3 fucking feet long and this big around, and it's like $12. And I'm like, man, do you know how many steaks I can make out of that? And then and then of course I buy the fucking thing, I bring it back, set it out on the counter, open it up, whatever, and then I cut it in half, and then half of it I put in the freezer. And then I that's for a pork loin roast that I'll use that when I make pozole. And then the other one, I'll just sit there and just, sorry, that's my progesterone alarm. And then the other one, I'll just cut it into pork steaks, and I'll bag them up, 3 or 4 pork steaks to a bag and put them in the freezer or whatever. And I mean, it's like, and so, I wind up with like 20 or 30 pork steaks and still a freaking pork roast that's that big for pozole for $12. And it's like, man, how can you just pass that up? I mean, pink meat maybe. There you go, Small Scout stuff. Yeah, it's like, it's, okay, health-wise it's red meat, but if you look at it, it's white meat, so let's just call it pink meat. So levothyroxine. I've never heard of that there, Robert. Yeah, no, I was gonna say osmazoparole. That's Prilosec. Ben Strickland is still recovering from my trip to Ohio. I'm doing okay. Ready to start working on my shed, but the weather is absolute garbage. Man, I wish I could send you my weather down here because it's been pretty fucking amazing. We've been in the 60s and 70s for the last week. When I was home, I mean, and it's been like that for a couple weeks, but while I was home, it literally, like, this front moved through right after I showed up, and it was like in the 40s. So, like, I was home not this last weekend, but the weekend before when I did the last show and all that. I burned an entire 40-pound of propane in my shop, in the forge, just keeping my garage warm while I was in there. I mean, I did a lot of forging too, but I would sit there. I would be sitting there watching because oh my god, I have Pluto. I've got a TV in the shop, right? And Pluto TV has a Stargate channel, and it's not. They're not in order or anything. It's just random episodes of Stargate SG-1, Stargate Atlantis, and Universe. And even the two-parters don't necessarily like you. If you see part one of a two-parter, part two is not necessarily going to follow it. And anyways, I sat out there for the 3 days or 4 days I was home. I probably spent 15 hours in my garage just watching Stargate, and with the fucking forge burning in the background, keeping the shop warm. Because my diesel heater, the big turbine heater that you only got to run for about 3 minutes before you're peeling layers off. It's buried underneath a whole bunch of stuff on the other end of the shop, and I was like, yeah, I'm not digging that out. And so I emptied my propane can, and it's in the back of my truck now. And here, sometime in the next couple weeks, I'm gonna throw or load up all of my propane cans here at work, and I'll take them down to Tractor Supply and get them all filled. And now I fill them at Tractor Supply because they charge me per volume or weight. Like the only the only other place that I can get them filled, like it's a 20-pound cylinder, so they charge you, like $20, whatever the price is. It's just straight up 20. Even if I bring them a half full can, they're still going to charge me $20 to top it off. So I take them to Tractor Supply where they charge me for exactly what they put in the bottles. That way, I can bring a half or three-quarter full bottle and have it topped off, and which is what I do. I'll just bring all of my bottles to Tractor Supply, and the empty ones get full, and the medium ones get topped off, and that way it's all in one trip. And I probably gonna have to do that like twice a year. So. And okay, so Jack, you said the medical industry has had a rough time showing proof that dietary cholesterol has any impact on serum cholesterol. And I always kind of thought it was a direct correlation, but then I am not, somebody that is not my forte. It's just like my good cholesterol is high, but I eat a lot, But I eat a lot of fucking olive oil. I mean, literally. I eat it on my salad every day, and the tuna that I eat is in olive oil, and fish is good for that too. But so I think that has something to do with it. So I can't say that there's not a correlation. I don't know. That's interesting. I don't know if there's a direct correlation or not, and it would also be difficult for me to say, okay, well, my cholesterol went down because I adjusted my diet this way, because honestly, my diet's all over the road. I'm trying to do good because I'm not taking a big ass burrito full of meat, asado, for my lunch, that weighs like 4 pounds. Asado is red chili and pork, but so I'm taking a salad with me, and then instead of taking a bag of Doritos or Little Debbie snacks, I take rice cakes, and so I'll snack on rice cakes all day because they're kind of filling, low calorie, low carb, and I actually kind of like them. Just the salted ones. I don't care for the other flavors, but. OBV hotter when I'm working. My shop stays heated to 55 all winter. OBV hotter when I'm. Obviously hotter when you're working, John. Okay, yeah. Is it? Do you have like floor heat or what? $3 per gallon, Jeff says, for propane. Yeah, I don't. I always find it weird that they advertise the price of it by the gallon, and then they sell it to you by the pound, and then convert that back into gallons for you to pay for it. So propane is $3 a gallon. How much propane did you get? I got 18 pounds. Okay, and then they convert, 3.4 pounds per gallon, and it's like, hmm. But yeah, so I always thought that was weird. Eggs, for example, as the bane of the dietitian's library, is now the charmer. And I've always heard, okay, so the thing with eggs, I think, and this is just, me, eggs for a long, long time, the primary, like the primary way an egg was prepared was fried, okay? So we're talking back 70s, 60s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s ish. The primary, if you were going to cook an egg for breakfast, the primary way you were going to do it was you were going to fry it, and you were going to fry it in vegetable oil. So in that respect, that egg is high in cholesterol, and maybe not the best thing you can do. I mean, yes, there are many ways you can do an egg. Soft boiled, hard boiled, whatever. I don't know. Me personally, like I fry my eggs on a what do you call it? A little egg pan with a little bit of either canola oil or olive oil. But I have on occasion been known to fry them in bacon grease, because there's no better egg than an egg that's been fried in bacon grease. And I dare you to challenge me and say there's something better. 20-pound tank is 4.3 gallons, Jeff. Close enough, though. Yeah, 20 pounds of propane is 4.3 gallons. And if you get the Rhino Exchange propane, you get instead of 4.5 gallons of propane, you get 4.2. It's a 0.3 of a gallon light, and that's how they make their profit on it. Electric heat on a thermostat. Oh, so John, do you? So if you got electric, do you have like an actual like central heat and air unit on your shop? Because like I totally thought about doing that for mine. I thought about once I finished insulating my shop, digging a trench and then running a heater vent and air conditioner vent from my house underground over to my garage. I thought about doing that, and because and even though the garage won't be on the thermostat, the thermostat's in the house, so but it'll add warm air and cold air, as it goes. I might still do it. I don't know, but as a chicken rancher, I dug into the glorious egg, and the yolk is principally cholesterol, and I don't really care. I think that's what I don't know. IRC. I don't really care. I don't know what the other I is, but yeah. And honestly, I'm not a fan of the yolk. Like I cannot eat an egg yolk that is like runny, liquid in any form. Like if I hard boil an egg, and when I cut it in half, if there's like even the crystalline yellow color in the middle, then it's not that powdery yellow color. I'll pop the yolk out and throw it away. I can't do it. When I fry an egg, I do over hard, where I break the yolk and then mix it in with the egg whites, and then fry it. Fry it. I don't like egg yolks. Well, no, and in today's day and age, the propane tanks, not 100, but the everything smaller than 100 has an OPV, overfill protection valve, and most people just like fill it until the OPV pops, and but yes, the weight does tell you when it's full because of that. But there's also a meter on the valve that shows how many gallons have gone into it. So the meter it's sitting on the scale for weight, and then the meter on the valve on the hose shows how many gallons. Oh, okay. Only 12 by 24, so just an electric heater. Right on, John. If I recall correctly. Okay. I have never seen IRC as. Oh, okay, I've never seen that one before at all. It's just IRC is. I don't really. Or oh no, that's IDRC. I don't really care. See there, I'm behind on my what's that internet acronyms. So, somebody put one up in one of my groups the other day that was like 15 letters long, and like everybody knew what it was, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I had to go to the comments to figure out what it was, and I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So in that respect, there, John, I never understood why they've got the gauge that shows the gallons that they've dispensed, and they've got it on the scale at the same time. But then, I mean, eh, it's hit or miss, I guess, because some places will like level out the scale, and they'll put the scale in the right number so that when the tank gets to the right thing, it goes. And then other places, like they don't even touch the weights. They don't even care. They just leave it there. They put it down, and then like they'll put the thing in there. They'll start filling it, and then the pump makes a different sound when it's full. When the OPV closes, it goes and it's full, and then they just go turn it off, pull the little lever on the thing, shut your thing, and pull it off to the side. And yeah, need to get metric propane to make it a bit more confusing. You know what? I wonder how they measure that in metric countries. I mean, is it sold by the liter? Is it sold by the kilogram? I don't even know. Or is it even a thing really? Well, no, it has to be a thing because like I remember watching Alex Steele videos. They go get propane. They don't get bottles of methane. But hmm, metric propane. Yeah, that is interesting. What are the big cylinders that they have over there that are orange, which we call a 100-pound cylinder? What are they over there? That would be what 100 pounds is 4 8. Let's see, 4.3 times 4. Okay, I'm not mathing. Somebody else can figure that out if you want to, but it's not worth it. I was going to figure out how many gallons was in a 100-pound cylinder and then convert that to liters, but yeah. Oh, all right. Well, I do believe I'm going to call that a show. It is 8:15. I've done an hour and 15 minutes, and yeah, I covered the two subjects the one subject and then the question that I wanted to cover, and that's about it. I got to get up and go do a day shift tomorrow, so I am going to yeah, do that. So, well, that means I got to get ready, and oh god, I got to go fuel up my truck still. Fuck me, really? 8:15. Okay, well, yeah. Ugh. I barely made it to the yard this morning. Low fuel light on. I'm watching the needle, and I'm just like, I don't want to have to stop. My fuel card's not working, so I was like, I gotta make it to the yard. And I've got ads again, so I can make sure checking my lag because I don't want to hit the end button um, before I've caught up to the lag. All right, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. All right, so yeah, we need to get metric propane to make it. I already did that. Fuck me. Run out of smelterassery and have a great evening. Jeff, I plan to have a great evening, and I want all of y'all to have a great evening. Um, if nothing else, just think of something that makes you smile and anyways, yeah, so I am going to check out, and I got to go fuel up my truck, and then get a shower, get ready for bed. And I will see you guys on Sunday for the Sunday morning gathering, and God, I better, because next week is Egypt. Ugh. I've been waiting for this one all year, so I'm pretty stoked. So I will see you guys next week. And whenever I have a chance for another episode of Alexis Unleashed, which I'm totally thinking about renaming Alexis Unhinged, just because Yamez keeps calling it that. So I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one.